Somewhere along your journey, you may have asked a painful question you never thought you'd have to ask God. Why does this hurt so much? Why did you let this fall apart? Why am I praying, believing, staying faithful, and still feeling like I'm breaking? If you've ever whispered those words in the quiet of the night, this message is for you. Because there is a kind of breaking that doesn't come to destroy you. There is a kind of breaking that comes to prepare you. And often, God breaks the man He wants to use, not because He hates him, but because He loves him too much to leave him unprepared. There is a moment in every meaningful life when the old strength stops working. The confidence you once leaned on fades. The plans you were sure about collapse. The applause goes quiet. And suddenly, you are left alone with God and your questions. This message matters because so many people walk away from their calling at this exact moment. They mistake preparation for punishment. They confuse God's silence with abandonment. They interpret breaking as rejection, when in truth, it is often the beginning of alignment. This message speaks to the man who feels overlooked, the one who tried to do everything right and still ended up wounded, the one who knows God has called him, but cannot understand why the path feels so painful. Imagine a man who knows he is called, but no longer trusts himself. A man who once moved with certainty, now hesitating with every step. He remembers who he used to be, strong, confident, full of fire. And he grieves that version of himself, not realizing that God is not trying to take something from him. God is trying to take something out of him. Pride that would destroy him later. Fear disguised as control. Strength that relies on self instead of surrender. Because the truth is, God does not anoint unchecked strength. He anoints surrendered vessels. There are seasons when God allows everything familiar to shake. Relationships strain. Doors close without explanation. Efforts seem to produce nothing. And internally, there is a quiet frustration that grows into exhaustion. You pray, but the heavens feel silent. You worship, but the joy feels distant. And it is in this place that many men harden their hearts or walk away altogether. But what if this is the very place where God does His deepest work? What if the breaking is not meant to crush you, but to strip away what cannot go where God is taking you? God often breaks the man He wants to use because calling without character is dangerous. Influence without humility destroys. Purpose without dependence leads to pride. So God steps in, not gently, but intentionally. He allows pressure to reveal what is hidden. He allows delay to expose impatience. He allows loss to teach surrender. Not because He delights in your pain, but because He sees the future you cannot yet see. He sees rooms you will walk into, people you will lead, burdens you will carry. And He knows the version of you that exists right now would not survive what is coming. There is a hidden kindness in God's breaking. Because when everything external is taken away, you finally see what you were leaning on. You realize how much of your confidence came from validation. How much of your peace came from control. How much of your faith was really just comfort. And in that realization, something sacred begins to happen. You stop striving. You stop pretending. You stop trying to impress God with your strength. And for the first time, you come to Him honest, empty, and real. This is where the perspective shifts. Breaking is not God pushing you away. It is God pulling you closer. It is God saying, you cannot carry this next season the way you are. It is God teaching you to hear His voice when the noise is gone. Teaching you to trust Him when the path is unclear. Teaching you to stand firm without applause. Because the man God uses is not the one who never falls apart. It is the one who learns to fall apart at God's feet and rise with a deeper dependence. Think about how fire works. Fire does not destroy gold, it reveals it. But to the gold, the fire feels unbearable. To the outside observer, it looks like destruction. Yet the refiner knows exactly how long to keep the gold in the fire. Not a second longer than necessary. God is the same. He knows the exact pressure required to shape you. He knows when to apply it, and He knows when to pull you out. And even when you cannot feel His hand, it is still there, steady, intentional, and precise. The turning point often comes quietly. Not with instant relief, but with understanding. You realize that the season didn't break you, it humbled you. It didn't weaken you, it refined you. You notice that you pray differently now. You listen more than you speak. You no longer demand answers, you seek presence. And in that shift, something powerful happens. You begin to trust God, not for what He gives, but for who He is. You stop asking Him to explain Himself, and you start resting in His wisdom. And here is the truth that changes everything. God never breaks a man without a purpose. He never wounds without intention. He never strips away without preparing to rebuild. The breaking is not the end of the story. It is the foundation. Because the man who has been broken by God is no longer impressed by power, no longer driven by ego, no longer shaken by opposition. He has seen himself without God and knows he cannot return to that place. So if you are in a season where you feel undone, do not run. Do not harden your heart. Do not assume God has forgotten you. This may be the very moment He is preparing you for the thing you prayed for. Let Him do the work. Let Him remove what cannot remain. Let Him reshape your heart. Because when God finishes, you will not just be strong. You will be steady. You will not just be gifted. You will be grounded. And when He finally uses you, you will know it was never your strength that carried you there, but His grace that sustained you through the breaking. And here is the final truth to hold on to when everything feels heavy. God breaks the man He wants to use because only a broken man knows how to kneel. Only a surrendered man knows how to listen. And only a refined man can carry the weight of purpose without losing his soul.